Hey everybody, it's Chris Campbell, Vice President of Content and Client Relationships with the Food Institute, and I'm here at 2025 Digital Food and Beverage in West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm with Shinali Paul of Paul John Caffeine, and first I just want to ask how it's going so far this, today at the event here.
Oh, it's been awesome, super great, a lot of insight. Spoke on a panel earlier today. It was great, met a lot of great people. And like I said, it's just been a good, insightful conference.
Yeah, I would agree so far. I'd love to talk to you a little bit about your company. So when I first got the email to try to, they wanted us to talk together, I was kind of interested in the fact that it's an Indian coffee company. So perhaps we could talk about that a little bit because I don't see that so much on the market. It's a lot of Arabica, it's being grown in different places. So I'd love to hear a little bit about the background with the company, but maybe we'll start off with just, the Indian coffee aspect of it all.
Yeah, a big part of why I started the company was just that. Most people don't know that India is a coffee growing region. And that it produces almost, it's the seventh largest producer of coffee in the world. And we're, in the States, it's not heard of. And so that was a big part of why I started Paul John Indian Caffeine Company, was to kind of bring the Indian market, or Indian coffee to the Western market. And the coffee is so unique in India. It's grown, naturally in the high altitude Western Ghat region of India, in the south, and it's got nuances and flavor profiles that are very intricate to the soil. That it's grown with so many different plants and fruit trees that make it so complex that it's very uniquely different.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about that flavor profile a little bit. What would you say distinguishes it from a cup of coffee you would typically get in America?
Yeah, so most coffee that we know in the States is from South America or Africa. We don't really get too much of Indian coffee. And the coffee grown in India, like I mentioned, is so diverse, the soil that it's grown in. You have very commonly cardamom, pepper, avocados, oranges grown on the coffee estates with the coffee plants, and it's very, very common. And so that infuses into the soil and gives it a very layered sense of flavor profiles. And so depending on how you roast the coffee, you're going to get more of that fruity floral notes to it, or if you roast it a little darker, you're going to get more of that pepper, cardamom, spicy notes to it, just depending on how you play around with the coffee, which gives us versatility as a brand too.
Thanks so much for kind of giving us a baseline on what Indian coffee is like.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your company now. What differentiates you from other players in the market? What would you say, your company's bringing to the table?
Yeah, so, most people, there aren't very many Indian coffee companies. People don't know about it. If not, we're probably one of the very few that are out there. And my aim and my goal is to really bring the Indian coffee to the mass market of America and to kind of have it more of not just a treat to have, but rather something that is a staple and as a standard for quality when it comes to coffee.
And let's talk format. Are you CPG, food service? How are you getting this to the people?
So we're actually a little complex. So we import the coffee beans ourselves. We have a lot of direct connections with coffee growers and estate owners in India, and so we're able to source coffee that we want, we like, and import it ourselves. And so we have 3 different tiers of the business where we do the green coffee, which is more a B2B, and we sell the raw coffee to other roasters should they want the Indian coffee product. And then we also do the retail side of it, which is roasted coffee. We have about 9 different blends. That's on our e-commerce website, and we sell directly to the customer. And that's meant for people to brew at their house. So consumer products. And then we also have the food service side of it, where we do package roasted coffee to other cafes and roasteries to kind of serve for their customers.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Seems like some interesting channels. I know we were just talking that you might have a new channel coming up. Is there anything
Yes.
you want to share about what's coming in the future here?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, but we do have the K-Cups, and that's just a market that, in the American market, fast-paced. K-Cups is just the way most people consume their coffee in the mornings. And so we have developed that product offering, and worked on it really hard to make sure that the coffee translates the way we want it to in that K-Cup format. Sometimes people think of it as less than. And so we've worked really hard to make sure that we roast it a certain way and package it with the nitro flush and everything to just make sure that it comes out a clean cup.
I really appreciate you spending some time with us today on the Food Institute podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Thanks.